Nowadays, there are barely to no menial jobs out there, and the competition is so high. Everything is upside down for those working menial jobs. For you to be sure of 8 hours nowadays at a workplace, it's not guaranteed. For you to be able to make 8 hours nowadays, you probably have to have 2 to 3 jobs. I wonder how people making a living on menial jobs nowadays are surviving. I really do wonder how they are surviving. And I really do feel bad for them right now. Because as we all know, nowadays, being alive, being a human being nowadays, to simply breathe this oxygen nowadays, to breathe this air is very, very costly. So I can just imagine. Because for instance, I don't know if you guys have noticed, everywhere you go now, checkout machines. Everywhere you go now, checkout machines. And it makes me wonder, does the government even sit down and think about its people? It really makes me wonder. Everywhere you go now, checkout machines. What I used to do is this, and I used to think that I was wise, and I used to do it as a religion, and I used to always even encourage people around me to do it. When I used to walk into a store, let's say like Independence, Metro, and I see checkouts, and I see that they still have some cashiers, what I used to do, and what I used to encourage people to do, is that go to the cashiers, always go to the cashiers, because I did believe that at the end of the day, when they do a report, they're going to be like, okay, some people are still very old school, and they still use cashiers, all right? So we won't get rid of the cashiers. We'll just have the machines there, but we'll still have the cashiers. I used to think by doing that, it's going to help those people keep their jobs. But no. I noticed that over time, nowadays, they didn't even care. They basically took away all the cashiers. Now it's all checkout machines. And they maybe have 1 or 2 staff right there to monitor the whole thing. And you know, another thing is this. The food industry. When I was younger, I used to work in the food industry. And they used to make their money from reservations and walk-ins. But nowadays, in the city where I live, downtown is a ghost town. No one is downtown. Nowadays, when I go downtown even, you can drop a needle and actually find a needle. When I go downtown nowadays, it's so dry that I'm even scared to walk around. So you can imagine when it comes to business, like retail stores, when you go to shopping centers, everywhere is dry. So that means the sales are going to massively drop, all right? When it comes to restaurants, like I said, they used to rely on walk-ins. But nowadays, there is no one downtown. And another thing is that the food nowadays is ridiculously expensive. And even if you go to the restaurants nowadays, I don't know for you guys, but for me, I feel very uncomfortable now going out to eat. Because when you go out to eat, you feel so much pressure, you feel so much tension from the person serving you, from the server. Because you will have to give tip. Whether they were nice to you, whether they were good to you, you will have to give tip. You don't have a choice. So most times, I feel uncomfortable, okay? Because some of the servers, they make you uncomfortable. They don't care if they were good to you, if they were rude. They just feel entitled. They have this sense of entitlement that makes me feel so uncomfortable. But I can't blame them too, because right now, life is hustling. And all they care about is money. They are desperate for money. So that is one of the reasons why I don't like going out to eat anymore. Because the entitlement from some of these servers is baffling. And you know, because the food is so ridiculously expensive, customers begin to feel like they are being ripped off, all right? They begin to feel like they are being ripped off. But the owners of the restaurant, they're just trying to catch up on the cost of food. They are trying to catch up on the amount of money they pay their employees. They are trying to catch up on the utility bills, because for them too, it's not easy. So now what they do is that for every 1 customer that they get, they want to drain out at least 3 customers worth of money from that 1 customer. So for them to be able to catch up with all their expenses, for every 1 customer that they get, they have to make sure that they are able to extract the amount of money that they could make from 3 customers in 1 customer. So nowadays, customers feel ripped off. So a lot of people now only go to restaurants for specific occasions. And you can't maintain a restaurant with people walking in only on specific occasions, with people taking reservations only on specific occasions, because specific occasions don't happen every day. And another thing is this, like I said, when I used to work in the restaurant industry, in the food industry, right? When you used to feel overworked, you had the right to voice it out and something was done about it. But nowadays, with the amount of people that are unemployed, employers nowadays are taking advantage of their workers. Nowadays, you find yourself even working the job of 6 people and you can't say anything. Because if you say something, employers nowadays, they know they have options. They know that if you quit today, in the next 24 hours, they have someone to replace you. So a lot of people nowadays are suffocating and dying on the inside because they know they no longer have a choice. They no longer have that privilege to be able to speak out for something to be done about it. The employers nowadays, they are savages, they are animals, they don't care. For them, it's either you want the money, you need the money, you do what they give you to do, or you get out. And you know, back in the day when I entered the working force, everyone used to do their best to be able to secure a job in the food industry, because jobs like retailing, working in retailing stores, most times you don't have enough hours. So people always used to look for jobs in the food industry because that is where you were sure of making your 8 hours a day, all right? But in the retailing world, it's very difficult. So it is only in the food industry that you knew for sure you could bank your 8 hours and be set, all right? But nowadays, you step in for work, they'll probably send you home after 3 hours because they know that, okay, that is the government policy. Because someone is not going to go through that harsh weather, leave their home, get a bus pass, or maybe drive their car, use their gas to come in for a shift, and you send them home after like 2 hours. So nowadays, things are not like before. You're probably working now, and they'll send you home maybe like after 4 hours. And that is not a life. Because what would you have to go through to be able to make 8 hours a day? Even if you work 5 days in a week, imagine they give you 4 hours each of those days. That's basically 20 hours. And minimum wage. What can you accomplish with that money? What are you going to do with that money, especially if you have a family? What can you do? Nothing. And another thing too is the cleaning industry, cleaning services. How many of us nowadays work from the office? It's very rare nowadays. Most people nowadays work from home. Even if they give you a contract, they will tell you stuff like, you will have to be in the office for 2 days, then 3 days at home. Or you have to be in the office for 4 days, or 1 day at home. And some people even, sometimes they don't even go to the office at all. Because that depends on how linear your company is. And as long as you get your job done, they will not bother you. So most people nowadays work from home. Meaning, a lot of government buildings downtown are going to be empty. A lot of work edifices are going to be empty. So the less human presence in the building requires less cleaning services. Meaning that owners of company nowadays, because they know that there's less human presence in their office buildings, they will not require a lot of cleaning services. That means a lot of staffs are going to be cut and hours are going to be cut again. So I am pretty sure those in charge of employment in those cleaning services companies, what they're going to do is that they'll prioritize the seniors. Seniority is going to come first, meaning they'll probably give all the hours to the seniors, and if you're new, you're going to get fired, there's going to be shortage of hours, or you're going to be kept at a job, maybe because you guys have been friends, maybe because of a long-time friendship. That's why they're going to keep you. But nowadays, everything is upside down for those working menial jobs. I can just imagine how much it takes to be able to survive. Because like I said, for you to be sure of 8 hours nowadays at a workplace, it's very, very, very dicey, all right? It's not guaranteed. So just imagine, it means for you to be able to make 8 hours nowadays, you probably have to have 2 to 3 jobs. But who wants to be entering this cold every day? Who wants to be entering this harsh weather every day just to go out there and work 3 jobs, moving from one location to the other to be able to make it happen, just to be able to maybe at the end of the day make an 8 to 10 hour shift? Come on. Because like I said, as far as I can remember back then, when I used to work menial jobs to survive, the government has a policy. You can't send someone home unless they have worked 3 hours. So I can just imagine nowadays. I'm pretty sure that's what a lot of employers are doing nowadays. So basically right now, you find yourself going at one location 3 hours, then go to another location 3 hours, then go to another location 3 hours, 9 hours every day. And imagine you're doing all that by bus. Even if you're doing it by car, the amount of gas you'll be using to go to different locations. Oh my God. So for my people out there right now relying on menial jobs to be able to survive on day-to-day basis, I really want to say I'm very sorry. All right, try your best to go back to school, because to be honest with you, whatever is going on out there nowadays, the way the economy is going on right now, is not worth it. If you can go back to school, please go back to school. And you know, sometimes I stay like this and I think about some of my friends in the past. I used to have these Filipinos, Thailand that used to work. Sometimes you see a whole family working in one location. That means one person is going to get hired and they'll go and tell their brother, they'll go and tell their cousin, they'll go and tell their mom, their dad. So you find all of them working in one location. I can just imagine right now. I can just imagine how hard things must be for them right now. And some of them were doing those jobs because of language barrier. They couldn't speak English properly. That's why they were doing those jobs. But nowadays, look at what is happening. The economy is upside down. There are barely to no menial jobs out there, and the competition is so high. Like I said, nowadays employers, they can play around with people's emotions because they know that for that one particular role now, they have at least 300 people waiting for the job. So you can just imagine. So please, if you're relying on menial jobs right now to survive, yes, do what you have to do right now to survive. But if you have this small window, this small opening that you know that you're able to use to go back to school, please go back to school, okay? Go back to school, because things are hard right now, but things are going to become much more harder. So these are some of the observations that I made. And I'm just like, oh my God, I can imagine how things must be hard for people out there right now. But please, something else I want to add is this. If you are an employer out there watching me, please have a heart. Please take it easy on people. Don't be so harsh. Please be understanding. Don't be so quick to dismiss someone. Do not be so quick to fire people, because people out there nowadays are going through a lot. So please take it easy on them. Please do not overwork them. They are human. Do not overwork them. I know you do have a lot of options out there, but please be considerate and please be human, all right? Do not abuse people. It's not fair. The world is already hard enough. We do not need to make things much more harder, but to rather be there for each other. I plead with you, I beg you. Be considerate in whatever decisions you are to make on someone's situations that works for you, all right? Please take it easy on them. It's not easy out there, all right? And you know, another thing that I wanted to say, if you know that you are working somewhere and that you have a friend, a brother, somewhere that is looking for a job, and you know that there's an opening for them, please let them know. Let's stop all this human selfishness. Let them know so they can also get a job, all right? Let them know. I know sometimes we try to play safe and all that stuff. Yes, if you know that someone for sure has a good personality and is a good person, and you know that they can be able to find a source of income where you work, please let them know, all right? There is nothing bad in helping someone. Just do your part. You help them, and if they fail you or wrong you tomorrow, just leave it in the hands of God, all right? But if you have an opening for a brother or a sister somewhere, please share with them, okay? So that is what I had to share with you guys today. If you have also noticed some of these things that I mentioned, please let me know what you think below, all right? So I just wanted to share with you guys some of my observations, because nowadays I really do have a hard time working out there because so much suffering. People are suffering and it's just insane. The world is wild nowadays. Bye y'all, and let me know what you think down below, okay? Ciao, ciao, ciao.